Fred the First, Part 1, Donald Trump's Origin Story by Laurie Smilan.
I'm Laurie Smilan, and I'm the playwright.
I'm Paul Brewster, and I'm going to be playing Fred Christ Trump.
I'm Chad Ramsey, and I'll be playing Donald Trump.
Hi, I'm Quilpa. I'll be playing Roy Cohn.
Hi everyone, I'm Jacqueline Youm, like Zoom, and I'll be playing Hotspur.
Everyone, I'm Arielle, and I'll be playing Gilda Stein and a supermodel.
Hi, I'm Jen Katz. I'm playing Eleanor Holmes Norton, a supermodel and a court reporter.
I'm Jeff Baskir. I'm playing Bunny Lindenbaum and a waiter.
I'm Jerry Hoffman, and I'll be playing Abe Beame.
I'm Tricia, and I'll be playing Frankie and reporter number 1.
Hi, I'm Karen Winokur. I am your narrator, Johnny, and Trump's secretary.
Hi, I'm Robert Howard. I'll be playing Starrett Executive Number 1 and Ned Eichler.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel Catalan, and I'll be playing Starrett Executive Number 2, Boy Toy, and Magistrate.
Hi, I'm Amber. I'll be playing a supermodel, reporter number 2, and Banco Soup Job, and the judge.
Past is prologue. In 1970s New York City, young Donald Trump, tutored by the notorious Roy Cohn, defends a race discrimination case, pursues his first real estate deal, and tries to win his father's approval. Told through the prism of Henry IV, Part 1, the play relies on transcripts in US v. Trump, as well as contemporaneous reporting of the events in question.
Summer 1973. Trump management, Brooklyn. Fred paces and grips a copy of the Daily News.
Bad news, Fred.
That's already in the press. I swear I rue the day that Donald pressed to be Trump Enterprises president. I swore he'd treat me and my business with respect. Donald's free with his promises, not ever kept.
What's Donald done?
Whoring in Manhattan like some hotshot. Hobnobbing with those city snobs I hate. All my business is beneath him. My money's not.
He's young.
He's almost 30.
Blooming late.
At his age, I'd built this empire. He builds castles in the air. Blustering, he'll be a billionaire.
Donald's grandiosity will be outgrown. Right now, Fred, you've got problems of your own. That broad-burning black girl who heads up the Human Rights Commission's on a mission to make you rent to non-whites.
Hell, what about my rights? These gotcha games of government gadflies. Witch hunts, which will destroy free enterprise, crush everything that makes this country great. It's un-American, and that's a fact.
It's the law, Fred. The Fair Housing Act. Most landlords just signed a consent decree.
Fred Trump will never get down on his knees. I'll take on the city. Well, not its welfare slacks. Well, let those people's shithole countries take them back. I'll go to war against the welfare state.
Your odds of winning, Fred, ain't too great. This crusading colored gal called in the feds, and the hotshot lawyer the feds put on the case is hot to see your color line erased.
These persecutors are
prosecutors.
What's this persecutor's name?
Hotspur. Turns out it's Harry Percy's kid.
Oh, that's rich. I am chid by Percy's spoiled rich kid.
Hotspur's Donald's age, but highly qualified. Hot-tempered, hence the name. Like Don that way. But the top of the class at Harvard Law.
How these achievements stick in my craw. Every honor on this Percy kid is fixed while Donald is smeared across page 6. Well, I trust the feds will pursue Percy too.
The feds want blacks in middle-income flats and Flatbush, not Percy's Park Avenue penthouses.
So Percy's all-white places get a pass, while this kid calls me racist? Pox on New York's aristocracy.
Limousine liberals.
Such hypocrisy.
And lame duck Mayor Lindsay's the worst. Bankrupts the city, giving blacks blank checks.
To turn my buildings into crime-wrecked racks.
Why we need our boy Beame in City Hall.
Oh, Bunny, get Beame in here and haul in this Hotspur too. I'll show the feds Fred Trump won't be coerced.
Should Donald come?
To war? I'd bring my worst? Pit Percy's pride against my dumbcough Don? I'd only help this war unwon by some wisecrack from his unruly tongue. No, call the meetings without my worthless son.
Le Club, a posh members-only Manhattan club. Donald enters with a Diet Coke, inhaling cocktail peanuts from his fist.
Where's that scoundrel? Where's my Roy Cohn?
Roy Cohn enters, downing a scotch.
Roy, meet the latest member of Le Club.
None of these swanky snobs gave you the snub.
Persistence wore down those puffed up pricks. Had to promise, though, not to chase their chicks. It's their deals, Roy, I really want to chase. Could use your help.
Can't help your lack of grace.
Unfair.
You're fair enough, but son, a pretty face won't put you in the good graces in this place. The favor of these fat cats might well serve your interests, but their favor's not deserved. They are the real deal real estate elite. You are an Attleboro wannabe. You got nothing but gold locks, good looks, and
verve?
chutzpah.
I don't speak Jewish.
You've got nerve.
I have a small fortune.
Your fortune's you're pretty, and it's your father's fortune.
More's the pity. But at least, Roy, I'm not pitiful like you.
Pity the putz who dare put down Roy Cohn, New York's most artful lawyer. I'm well known as the fixer to call when the fix is in, so I can fix fools who get on my case, like you, young borough baron, who lack grace.
Who needs grace in this shark-infested place?
If you'd swim with the sharks, you must show sharks respect, which sharks deserve because we rid the sea of the weak fish.
I'm no weak fish, not me.
We sharks can't let the weak fish overrun. They'd steal our oxygen and block out the sun.
No way. I'll crush those losers. Believe me, blood in the waters, mother's milk to me.
Try to reel you in.
I'll be ruthless.
You ever meet a shark son who was toothless, but not ruthless? That implies a bad intent. And steely sharks strike without sentiment, unfazed by phases of the changing tides.
Well, I'm up for down phases, real estate-wise. Now, the market's underwater, weak-kneed guys flail and sputter, while my eyes on the prize.
It seems maybe, baby shark, you've watched our ways. When others are too meek, mired in malaise, wounded, weak, then the steadfast shark he prays.
Couldn't pray for a better time to pray. The crisis makes land as cheap as stinking fish. If Dad weren't so tight-fisted, Roy, I'd be able to snatch up distressed deals like I snatch.
Have you no decency?
I'm quite the catch. But deals are what I'll reel into my net, till my net worth's fortune's best yet.
Fortunes ebb and flow, just like the sea. Abide the tide, strike when it's opportune.
The time is now. Everything is crashing. Penn Central's rail yards, that's what I've set my sights. A forced sale of the land and building rights, 120 acres in Manhattan, a deal like the world has never seen.
That sounds like it will mean some serious green. Think Frugal Fred will fork over the funds?
Remember, I'm president.
Yeah, right, but Daddy reigns, and he holds the reins tight. Says all he earns by day, you burn by night.
Yeah, he scolds my carousing, casts a cloud. He's the dark cloud, always blocking his sun. But like the sun, I'll break out, then I'll shine. You'll all be blinded by my brilliant mind.
You're blinded by your ego.
Believe me, I'll make billions, Roy. Billions. You'll see. I'll win so much that I'll get sick of winning. Be so rich, Dad will forgive my sitting. Till then, bad behavior might well worsen, but then I'll shock you, and 'cause I'm like a really smart person.
You're such a schlemiel, I'm sure we'll be surprised.
Roy, I'll make the Trump fortune really rise. First, I'll profit on Central's demise. Put my name on the highest new high-rise.
Your erections, boy chick, are just wild, wet dreams. Take care of your ego not to overstroke. Breakneck ambition off leaves one's neck broke.
Back at you, Roy.
Alas, rebukes bespoke. My reckoning is due, and I am broke.
My credit will be wrecked by you, Roy.
Your credit's good, because it's here apparent that your parents' fortune you are heir apparent. Crown Prince of Brooklyn and the Knave of Queens.
I'll be the king of New York City, too.
I'll teach you the ways. The means, son, come from you.
A deal with the devil?
Devil with he. My bargain cares not of morality, nor promised hope of immortality. I'm governed, son, by just one simple rule. That my bank, bottle, bed be always full.
Well, for me, it's fame and fortune. But first, fun. And unlike you, my bed's not hard to fill.
You so offend, you make offense a skill. But I need friends with money. Like you, son. We'll have to ditch these daughters to find fun. Find more lads like you. Pretty, rich, and young. Dick Nixon's aides in town. Let's go cavort with this kid called Stone and his pal Manafort.
If they're gay boys like you, Roy, they're not my sort, okay? Unlike you, I'm no fairy wussy. But let's go prowl, so I can grab some pussy.
Trump management offices. Fred is at his desk.
Beame, I've been much too cool and temperate, not apt to unleash, Abe, my temper at you politicians. But my patience is tried. Once you're mayor, you need to override this black rights BS. Let landlords decide how their apartments should be occupied.
But Fred, that's political suicide. If you want me to win the election, I just can't afford the disaffection of the city's Puerto Ricans and the blacks.
You're just like all political hacks. I fund you, but your loyalty is lax.
30 years, Fred, I've had your back.
Because you had my backing. This time, though, I need a favor.
Aye, a quid pro quo.
This Human Rights Commission's gotta go.
But Fred, right now, I'm just the comptroller. This human right gal, I can't control her, much less the feds. But Abe Beame knows the buck. The bottom line is this city's really fucked. Debt ballooning every day and zero cash. So once I'm there, I'll be forced to slash all Lindsay's liberal spending. Problem fixed. Most of those human right folks, 86th. And the beauty is, I won't be forced to fudge it. It won't be based on race, but on the budget.
Square the city's debt, but mind your debt to me.
How I'll solve the city's insolvency. What better way to fix the fiscal slump than to bring business back? My friend Fred Trump can build us back to the brink of bankruptcy. Big tax breaks, incentives.
Well, that's a start.
But I can't start until, Fred, with your help, I'm elected and sworn in. Just 6 months more.
Alas, no ally at the dawn of war, a pip-squeak pal who can't my peace procure. You've leave to leave, Beame, and if you'd rather pursue contributions, hey, don't call us, we'll call you.
Once I'm mayor, your friend Beame won't forget the favor of your favor. You can bet whatever Fred Trump wants, Fred Trump will get.
I'll do anything for Trump if I'm elected. Oh, hey, maybe my Penn Central project. I've projected that this project is going to...
Oh, get out of here. There's rent to be collected. Fred, Hotspur's here with a... Huh? Bunny, what are you doing here? Well, let's hope Hotspur's boss is older, wiser. I should kill them first. Hey, but let the lawyers in. It really is the witch hunt. They said girls. Good sign. They must know their case is weak. But Percy's kid's a girl?
I thought you knew. Called Hotspur because Harriet's shrew.
And the older one?
Ms. Stein. She's one too.
Well, don't just stand there, ladies. Take a seat.
Gilda and Hotspur sit in uncomfortable folding chairs that force them to look up to Fred. Donald pulls supersized French fries doused in ketchup from his inside jacket pocket and eats.
Is this the Percy's new way to compete?
What?
Well, your dad's not subject to this witch hunt, right? His tenants are all rich and very white.
We are fighting for those of modest means who want to rent in Brooklyn or in Queens.
Oh, rich snobs are afforded segregation, while average Joes are forced integration.
Unlike my father, you were subsidized by public funds to build homes for GIs, and that funding came with the stipulation that you'd rent without discrimination. Yet you rejected each application of the black testers sent by Human Rights, then rented to the testers who were whites.
Spare us, Hotspur, your excoriation. Your woman's moodiness needs ministration.
She's on the rag, moody from menstruation.
Don't try my patience with your profane talk.
Go a pair, hot stuff. Just locker room talk.
I'll lock you up. Watch you'll do a perp walk.
Get out, Don. No one said that you could talk. Tend to the truant tenants. Now, tick-tock.
That Miss Percy blew her stack isn't right. But the evidence, we have you, sir, by rights. You clearly did discriminate by race, so rather than endure a drawn-out case, it would be better to enter a plea. We gave your lawyer our consent decree. As for a fine...
You will not have 1 penny of mine. This meeting's at an end. The answer's no.
Then we'll fall suit.
Get out of here, girls. Go.
Gilda leads Hotspur, furious, out.
Told you that harpy Hotspur was a shrew.
I never saw such nasty women as those two.
The street. Peeling off poster for Coney Island, July 4th. Hotspur paces and Gilda tries to flag a cab.
Nixon came and pled for Don and Fred. As far as I'm concerned, a deal is dead. I'll draft a case to file in federal court. Make sure the New York papers all report the Trumps are bigots. That'll ease my heart. These trumped-up Trumps, I'll tear them both apart.
You're drunk with anger, Hotspur. Back there with Don, you lost your head.
That bastard brought it on, pompous ass. Pesters like a popinjay. You heard those sexist things he had to say. A racist, chauvinist, misogynist.
These fits of pique, Hotspur, cannot persist. Be ruled by measured judgment, not by bile.
Bile, sure, for those vile men offend my soul, which will be damned if we try to cajole these racist rogues who won't capitulate from their foul plan to never integrate. For blacks, Hispanics, all those Trump disdains, on their part I will empty all these veins, shed my blood, drop by drop, in the Trumps' dust.
Justice is about fairness, Hotspur, not bloodlust.
When you urged a consent decree again, Fred dressed you down. He has no shame.
Fred thinks that he's impervious to blame. Arrested marching with the KKK, war profiteering, scamming the FHA, greased palms of Poles who claimed he paid to play, but every time there was no price to pay. Why would he settle now? Brace for a fight.
Which we will win. We have the might of right. If justice fails this time to take them down, racism will reign. We'll bow to the crown of kingpins who deserve the world's worst curse. And we who fail to fight them are made worse. Shall we be shamed by reports in the Times that justice failed to enforce our just laws? To stop these bigots in their unjust cause? Let them off so they can commit worse crimes? If so, then like the justice guys before who failed to jail the profiteer of war, more shame upon past shames will be spoken. Trump will think the law's a toothless token. No! This time serves fair justice to reclaim its reputation, restore its good name, avenge the bigotry, disdain contempt, teach Trump a thing about good government. I won't retreat till racism's extinct. Therefore, I say,
say no more. Be succinct.
For civil rights' sake, we'll make the Trumps pay. I will not rest till justice wins the day. For the oppressed, I'll draft the suit today against Fred and Don, the devil and his spawn.
To pressure Fred, you'd make his son upon?
I've heard there's little love, father-son wise, but Don's president of Trump enterprise. That Don would be the president. Absurd! Don boasts of it. I'll take him at his word.
Then once more to justice, act the scrivener. Get the files from the human rights, start to draft the pleading, but I'm pleading. Stick to facts and to plain language. Do not bent your spleen. We'll file this fall in Brooklyn or in Queens.
I'd like to charge these guys criminally, but we'll crush them, albeit civilly.
Hotspur and Gilda give up on a cab. They exit towards the subway. The 21 Club, early October 1973. Autumnal decor. Donald enters alone, in a mood, sits with Roy. After a while, he eats fries off of Roy's plate.
Kill all the lawyers, Roy.
Nice.
No offense. Settle everything. Got no business sense.
I never settle. I like a good fight. Cowards capitulate.
Yeah, that's damn right.
What occasions your pouty polemic? Assume it's more than just academic?
Seems the Fed will file a race case against me about preferences at Dad's properties. I swear there's no one less racist than me.
Why would the Fed sue you along with Fred?
Because I'm the president.
Oh, right.
But Dad, you know, sets all the policies.
The sword of justice hangs o'er your fair head to pay a debt you never promised.
Whatever. It's a witch hunt. So unfair.
And don't settle. Show mettle in warfare. If it were me, kid, I would loudly tell the government that they can go to hell.
I so agree. Screw their consent decree. Roy, would you represent my dad and me?
Would be my pleasure and my honor, son.
Let's not jinx it, Roy, until the case is won.
Department of Justice. Halloween witches on broomsticks. Hotspur with boxes of files sits with Gilda and Eleanor, Holmes, Norton.
All these testers' files, racism writ large.
Ms. Norton, today we'll file the charge. US v. Trump will nail these thugs.
We'll see. Here's one report that really rankles me. A super said it was Trump's policy to code colored applications with a C.
Gilda signs the complaint. The 21 Club, October 16th, 1973. Halloween masks on the club's iconic jockeys.
Great strategy. I'm on every front page.
Well done, son.
Well done, Roy. It's an outrage.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. And look, son, you got the final word. Trump's president calls the race claims absurd. Never discriminated, never would. You're a natural, and your photo looks good. You've thrown the gauntlet down, denied the charge, and now New York knows. Now you're the man in charge. Have things in hand.
And, Roy, my hands are large. Like something else?
Your ego? Supercharged. Don't be depressed by the press. Your fame's enlarged. McCarthy made page 1. Alas, poor me. Seldom mentioned until page 2 or 3. The Times reported each time I'm indicted. When I'm acquitted, they're less excited. Be glad that by the Times you weren't ignored. On page 1? Don't be glum. You've really scored.
October 1973. Outside a trendy disco, a line extends off stage behind velvet ropes. Music, strobe lights, and crowd noise when the insiders exit.
It's 4 a.m. for Christ's sake. Hey, yo, kids, it's long past closing time. You won't get in.
Yeah, back at you.
Hey, come on, we want to go.
That's quite a costume, that fag drag you're in.
The guy I work for, Trump, he's got no taste. So much money, but he's tacky. What a waste.
My guy is just a wasted panty waste. Here, Trump's ladies' man, girls can't resist.
What women's livers call a chauvinist.
A first-class dude.
A first-class ass who's coarse and rude and crude.
The doors open, music, noise, lights frame Donald with supermodels on both arms.
Speaking of the devil, the Donald comes.
Sir, if you would excuse, I'll make you an offer.
I refuse.
Hire me, what you gonna lose, except to lose this loser called you low class and crude, rude, crass and said you're a horse's ass.
Johnny lunges at
Too
Frankie.
good for me, you think? I'll fix that. You're fired. Hand that other guy your hat.
Johnny puts keys in his hat, hands hat to Frankie.
You got the job. I assume, Putz, you're free?
Not free, sir. Gotta pay to get the best, especially the way you'd make me dress.
Nice attitude. Screw a lid on it next time. Now, home, James. It's the girls' Betty Bye time.
Donald gropes the supermodels who laugh. They start off, but Donald turns, hearing the noise as the doors to the disco open. Start exec 1 and start exec 2 walk out. Donald waves. They don't see him, but move. Backs turn to hail a cab.
Now Trump's brat blabbered out all the details. We'll see that his Penn Central deal derails.
Then little piggy Trump will run wee-wee back home to Queens to cry to his daddy.
Dumb Trump. He's sure fucked up.
The little prick will steal his deal, and he can suck my dick.
Oh, leave that to Roy Cohn, Trump's cocksucker friend.
Some friend ready to fuck Trump in the end. Now, we'll do that. Though Cohn's a faithless fairy, we'll win the bid now. Cohn's our consigliere.
James,
Where'd
take
these
these
guys
ladies
go?
home. Yeah, take these ladies home. Then come for me after I kill Roy Cohn.
You mean Roy Cohn who rolls in the black rolls?
You know him? Because his head is going to roll.
I worked for him.
Do you still have his keys? I'll give them back. It's just a little tease.
Frankie, worried, hands over the keys. Roy is thrown out of the disco. Roy searches for Frankie while Donald quickly pockets the keys.
My driver had absconded with my keys. I rue there's no honor among thieves.
You've got no honor, but you are a fucking thief, backstabbing homo beyond belief.
Homo is a name common to all men, but I'm no thief, at least not with my friends.
Pretend friends. who'd you quick to double-cross. Thanks to you, friend, my rail deal is lost. Told you in confidence, you sold me out.
Well, confidence, you've a great deal, no doubt. But keeping confidences, kid, about your pipe dream of a Penn Central buyout? Crow to those chumps about your choo-choo deal? Don't call me a thief. You left nothing to steal.
Those stared guys you stole, Roy. I've been played.
I played them, Puts. It's all just a charade to spoil their plans, to spoil yours. Self-betrayed. Unlike your tongue, my loyalty's not strayed. Just moved in to mop the mess you made. Give thanks to your trusty white knight gave you aid.
White knight, small horse thief whose ride's been mislaid.
He dangles the keys over a subway grate.
And hand my keys, puerile pickpocket prick!
Your driver, like me, Roy, tires of your shtick. I hired him. Oh, by the way, he quit. You're fucked, false friend. You tried fuck with me.
Donald drops the keys, but they catch in the grate. Roy falls to grab them on his knees.
Where you belong, cocksucker, on your knees.
Struggling to get up.
You, Schlemiel, should shut your mouth and kneel. So I don't help railroad your railroad deal.
Frankie approaches and helps Roy up.
You'd help him? You no longer work for me.
He rips the chauffeur's hat off of Frankie.
You're both just losers with no loyalty. And loyalty is what I value most.
Like royalty, you bluster and you boast. It is yourself alone you value most. Blowhard, baby, bully all to get you your way. Turn friends to foes.
He hands Frankie the keys.
And then drive both away.
Frankie leaves to get Roy's car. Roy starts to follow, but Donald stops him.
Hey. Let's see, Roy, how much loyalty you've got. Tell me about that stair at rail yard plot.
Was my intent. Now seems I forget.
Roy starts to stumble off again.
Well, maybe your memory could be rebought. Remember, Roy, I paid your retainer, which means, loser, you're at my beck and call. Just keep walking, Roy. You'll lose it all.
You lose your deal, your case, kid.
It's your call.
Roy stops, then reluctantly turns.
You've learned my lessons well. You play hardball.
Roy walks back, meaning business.
I'll help, boy chick, but don't be such a schlemiel. Keep your mouth shut. It's your Achilles heel. Instead, plot. Lay the groundwork for your deal. If asked, say there's no help for the site. It's the epitome of urban blight. The city's failing, may default on bonds. Recession, near depressions, nigh upon. The rail yards mention, only to malign, including to the sellers. So they'll sign. Suck up to them, convince them you're the man. The only one who has a master plan.
Right. My great plan. So tell me how you'd pitch it.
That without your Penn Central, should just ditch it. The city's red tape is the deal's third rail. Zoning alone makes the sale sure to fail. But the Trumps have the political connections, or they will, after Beame's election. To do the deal, the Trumps are the best bet. What Fred Trump wants from Beame?
Fred Trump will get. But getting Dad to back me.
Don't forget. Until Beame's in, until your deal's done, keep your mouth shut. Your word?
My word is bum.
Reluctantly shaking Roy's hand and handing Don a bill.
Cab fare. You drove your drivers, Don, away.
Roy's right. There's no honor among thieves. One of Roy's lessons, you bet I believe. Thieves never know who they can really trust. I know. Just trust myself. Although I must learn from the lessons that Roy has taught me to. Take everything I can from you, Roy too. And so I'll follow all your advice. I'll suck up. I'll play real nice. But if you fuck me, trust your balls, I'll bust.
He looks at the curb where Roy was kneeling.
Pathetic fool. Sniveling in the dust. Believe me, Cohn, you won't get my pity when you're wrecked and I'm king of the city.
Donald looks at the 20, shrugs, actually laughing at himself a little, and flags a cab. Halloween, 1973, Department of Justice.
A letter from Trump's lawyer. Should have known that fascist Fred would hire Crooked Cohn.
Roy smirks at the insult. Donald is pissed about Fred, then amused at Crooked Cohn. As Roy dictates, Gilda and Hotspur read his letter.
Because I like your dad, I warn you, kid.
My dad despises you, Roy. Always did.
Oh, your case is too light for the counterpoise of our great opposition.
Ha! Who's Roy's?
Just psych out tactics, a ruse Roy enjoys.
Though you believe your cause is just and pure, the super you'd rely on is unsure. And so I warn you, kid, to show restraint. But if you still plan to press this complaint, I'll need more time to file the Trump's reply.
How much time does it take to write
When
deny?
there's no defense, the defense seeks delay. But give them the extension anyway, a courtesy that justice always grants.
Roy and Donald high five. Roy realizes in disgust he has McNuggets grease on his palm. He pulls out a handkerchief and wipes his hand.
But there's no mitigating
Be
circumstance.
patient, Hotspur, you will get your chance.
The women read from the letter again. Donald searches in vain for one last McNugget, upends the container into his mouth.
In the meantime, our demand is enclosed, that all your witnesses must be disclosed.
I worry witnesses will be approached by Cohn. They'll be coerced, their statements coached. But that is why the super is unsure.
Before Cohn gets these people to abjure their testimony, get their statements sworn. You'd better get the Bureau on the horn. The FBI knows Roy's reputation. Fraud, conspiracy, manipulation, perjury, repeated tax evasion, and worst of all, intimidation.
Hotspur picks up the phone to call the FBI. Les Club, early December 1973. Christmas decor, greenery, gold garlands, etc. Donald sits with the Starrett execs who look glum. Roy enters, stunned to see Donald with the Starretts who glower when Roy joins them.
Come join my new friends, Roy, and have a laugh. It's time that rail yard deal is off the tracks.
Your friends?
Mm-hmm. Saving them from a huge mistake. Although Penn Central's got prime real estate, it's a lost cause. The risks are just too great. The fiscal crisis, it's some nasty shit.
Credit market's tight.
Forget about it.
I'm telling you, there are some crazy rates they're charging for construction loans of late. And there's no way to refinance your debt.
Yeah, we just learned how hard funds are to get.
Amen to that, and I'll drink to it too. Where is my scotch, rogue? Have you no virtue?
A waiter delivers the scotch. Roy mock toasts, his drink sloshing all over the glass.
Roy, what a mess. Thought you'd like your scotch neat.
Damn you, rogue! There's water in my drink! Cheaters! Schemers! How low all men sink!
Not as low as you, Cohn. You're so drunk you stink.
What stinks to high heaven is Don making amends with you chump cheaters. These guys aren't your friends.
You cheated us, Cohn, on the Penn Central deal.
The deal I just explained has no appeal. Come on, guys, let's go. Let it go, for heaven's sake. Our new project makes up for Roy's mistake.
What new project? And I've made no mistake except to stoop to sit with these wise guys.
Our new joint project showed these guys are wise. I learned that the poor Starrett came up shy on Starrett City, about 7 mil. I've talked to Dad, and we agreed to fill the gap.
How generous.
Money was so tight. The Trumps were glad to do it so we could be these guys' white knight. Plus, now the Trumps have a fat Starrett stake, and they'll step back on deals I want to make.
You are a shark.
Oh, like a slippery snake.
Hey, that's not nice. Our deal is win-win. Don't mess with me. I fixed the mess you're in. We're partners now.
And Cohn's your shameless whore.
Roy jumps up unsteady.
Step outside, you cowards. This is war.
Hey, no need for that. These guys are gonna leave.
Starrett exec gets up.
On savior, Cohn.
Just saved you, I believe.
Roy motions for the waiter.
Give me another. So dry I can't think.
Your lips are still wet, Roy, from your last drink.
The waiter brings over an entire bottle of Chivas. And Roy pours a shot and raises his glass.
Whatever. Curse those cowards, I still say. But cheers to you for making those chumps pay.
I saved their asses. Now they'll do my bidding. And on my rail yard deal, they won't be bidding. To ease the pain, told them the deal's a bomb.
Which you'll diffuse. You act with such aplomb. You'd make a bomb bets with money from your dad. Don't think you'll dash your dreams, my little lad?
Beame's been elected, and he won't forget his promise. What Fred Trump wants, Fred Trump will get. I'll wager Beame can help to grease the skids. Now all I need is Dad to back my bid.
I wager, kid, you'll be most horribly chid. Let's practice what you'll say when Fred says no.
You've met Dad. You can guess how it'll go. Okay, let's have some fun. You play Fred's part, except he's not drunk.
They're not a smartass like his son. The setting's too luxe for the rat trap office of your Brooklyn schmucks. Well, okay, I'm game. I'll play Father Fred.
He makes a mustache with a cigar.
If Dad could see this, we'd both be dead.
Don, you do not but fill me with dismay. Spend all your time, my money, just to play. I raised you right, but all you do is wrong. Your will is weak, just your libido's strong. Do nothing well except to disappoint. Good people see you, laugh, and point. Why do you act this way, my wayward son?
Come on, Dad. I'm still young. Just having fun.
All obligations, Donald, you are shirking. Shall all my hard work fund your hardly working? And now with your dumb deals, my chain you're jerking? You're corrupted by the company you keep. Just one good man befriends you. All else, creeps.
Who is he?
A goodly man, whose intellect's first rate. A handsome man, though he is of slight weight. He's not a lightweight. No, the man is great. I'd say he's in his 40s, though looks young, and here, forsooth, the man is quite well hung. He's learned in the law, if not the good book, but if lewdly given.
Well, whatever you're saying, Roy, it's completely wasted on me now. Come on, Dad, surely you jest. Roy, I gotta tell you, Dad would never say that. No, now you be me, and this time I'll be Fred.
Depose me from my Coney Island throne? Dispute your only Fred is good, Roy Cohn. Let's see you play Fred better than I did.
Donald makes a cigar mustache and imitates Fred.
Shut up, Don, you good-for-nothing kid. The complaints I hear of you are grievous.
Roy grabs a gold garland and puts it on his head.
It's all fake news. I'm just mischievous. I have some fun, but I'm a real good guy.
Oh, the tabloid pictures, Donald, do not lie. You're bedeviled by a beastly man of vice whose friendship comes with the devil's price.
What do you mean, Daddy?
The guy's not nice.
But, Daddy, I don't know who you're meaning. Which friend do you mean to be demeaning?
That villain who misled you in your youth. That queer man with the clearest truth. A drunkard who's corrupt and uncouth. The sinning son of Satan who is known to represent the disreputable. Cohn.
Dad, to say there's no more bad in Cohn than you is so unfair to Roy. It just ain't true. It's a pity that the man grows older, but unlike you, Dad, he grows not colder. He is a connoisseur of single malt, but if that's a sin, then half the world's at fault. If to be gay and marry's to be damned, in one sense, Roy deserves to be reprimanded. And while the wicked Roy Cohn represents, he's wicked good at pleading innocence for all offense. He offers a defense, as I will now, for Roy's due recompense. Get rid of all my friends, but valiant Roy, who guides my journey, Dad, to man from boy. Roy sets me straight when all my thoughts are whirled. Banish chum Cohn, and banish all the world.
I will do so, and tell Cohn where to go.
But, Daddy dear, what of my deal?
Hell no.
Trump management offices. A few chintzy Christmas decorations, hardly festive.
$250,000, Dad. Hardly a trifling sum.
Say, he who spends on trifles and whose sum of real estate experience is none. The city's future's too precarious. Your rail yards deal too daunting. Done for us.
Can count on you, Dad, to dash all my hopes. Kick my great deals straight to the gutter. But when the Sterry guys were on the ropes, you coughed up $7 million to save those dopes.
Brooklyn apartments, my bread and butter. And since those guys were so desperate for funds, we got a stake in Starrett. Well done, son.
A big deal in Backwater. Big deal. But New York City, Dad, that's the real deal.
City construction costs, Don, make no sense. In Brooklyn, per square foot is 50 cents.
I swear you would not give me 50 cents.
Which in Manhattan might build a square inch. Twin Towers costs went up with every floor. 100 per square foot to build, or more.
Dad, it's 120 acres.
For which, and for good reason, there's no takers.
Because they're scared, and they don't understand the real value of undeveloped land in the city, where there's no more land at hand. 6 blocks right in the city center, perfect for a new convention center, and 13 blocks near the West Side Highway, which we'll tear down if I have my way. Build the tallest towers, all with river views. Name it Trump City after me and you. Blocks and blocks of prime New York real estate on the blocks at liquidation price. It's a deal of a lifetime. Don't think twice. You won't regret it, Dad, but we can't wait. Let's lock it up before it's too late.
Too late? Never too soon to just say no.
No is the only word, Dad, that you know.
No is the only word. Because, Don, you don't know what you don't know. Hey, see something shiny, son, and off you go. You'd risk everything that you never earned. You're
27.
Well, got so much to learn, but unabashed, ask for $250,000? For undeveloped parcels on landfill, with no plans, no permits, much less approvals.
Which I'll never get from you, Dad, just reprovals.
Want approval? But for what? Tell me that. You're the son of immigrants, self-made man who by hard work, our family's fortune earned. I lost my dad at 12 to Spanish flu, but built the business up from nothing. But you, so fortunate, all I have built, you've spurned. Instead, with advantage you've been given, you act the fool. Debauched and pleasure-driven, do little, expect everything you want. A deal maker? No, Donald. A dilettante. God, what displeasing service have I done that you've revenged me with this shiftless son?
Trust me, Dad. All those rumors that you've heard, I'm probably guilty of less than a third. Okay? The gossip columnists don't tell the truth when they report that I'm a wayward youth. I'll prove them liars, Dad, if I'm allowed. Make us Manhattan moguls.
That snob crowd. Like you, they disdain everything I built. The modest bricks that you'd replace with guilt. Our family's gold, the honor of Trump's name, which our hubris will tarnish, mar with shame. You crave the spotlight, but I fear your fame will be as a fool, all sick of your sight. Save me. Who did desire that you might apprentice here, not frolic with my foes, build my legacy, not worsen my woes? I've no doubt that by Percy you were paid to act the fool, to give his Hotspur aid, but also to make a fool of me.
I'll prove you wrong. I'll make it big. You'll see.
The 21 Club. Santa hats on the jockeys. Donald sits with Roy.
Dad always says I was a problem child. It's all his fault. What kid wouldn't go wild, cooped up in Queens under his iron rule? The bastard's mean. I mean, I was 13 when he backed me off the military school.
I take it your father told you no?
I knew he would. But I had to make the ask. And like always, he just took me to task. He's the drill sergeant. I'm the kid cadet. Proves the one rule I learned at that damn school. I'm the one who must look out for number one.
You were number one in school. Made good grades?
The grades were rigged. Preferred when we'd parade. You know, I led my senior class brigade.
Ah, prepared to fight for country. Did you go?
Deferred. Then I had bone spurs, Roy, so no.
Not number one when your draft number's called?
Dad doctored things. Why should I go?
Duty? Honor?
Suckers. All those so-called war heroes are just losers. Killed or maimed or captured like that Admiral's kid.
McCain. His bravery earned the president's acclaim.
No hero. The loser ditched his plane. Then let himself be tortured and abused by the damn gooks because the fool refused to let his bigwig father bail him out.
Like your dad did for you? Cares when it counts.
Can't count on him except to kick me when I'm down. The deal, Roy, if he would listen, understand it, it'd be great. And it could be won. Instead, he holds me back. Why would I, son? Why would you? Why would you not, son of a bitch? Because, you bastard, the deal would make us rich.
Glassware clatters as he bangs the table.
Takes discipline to wage war. See it won. Takes tactics, strategy, and well-laid plans.
And capital. Clenched tight in Scrooge's hand. Someday, the miser's money will be mine. Why not now, when there's a gold mine?
You can't strike gold if you just kvetch and whine to me. Go tell Penn Central you're the one who's got the moxie to get the deal done.
But that's the point, Roy. If my dad won't pay for an option, then the option's gone away.
They have few options.
None, except for me.
Which is what you must make them plainly see. A bankrupt company with crushing costs. Write them a letter before more time's lost. Explain without you their endeavor fails, that they need Beame to keep things on the rails. Put on a charm offensive. Win the sale.
Can charm them and disarm them, believe me. And vision. No one has more, Roy, than me. But without funding, Roy, the whole thing fails.
No need to get into those small details. Deal with that once you've got them on the hook. They'll assume you've got backing. If they bite, then your Meshuggah choo-choo deal just might seem more than just a diluted mudnick's dream. You might get funding then, by hook or by crook.
That's not bad, Roy. Give them a good little head fake.
But there's one thing I fear you cannot fake. You got no prior deals, no real estate experience.
Well, I'm the president.
Which means you bang on doors to get the rent. Your empty title at Trump management will not fool these savvy Penn Central guys. But I know a wizard, real estate-wise, makes deals from nothing. Too good to be true.
Stare it. The mob. Come on, don't tease me. Tell me who.
Hey, I'll give you just a tiny clue. He's someone who's related, son, to you. Stingy with pennies, generous with advice. Fred may freely give that if there's no price. You write the railroad, but tout your dad's CV. His buildings, Beame, his buds in the city. You'll need that to add credibility.
It's my deal. Why should Dad get the credit, especially since he won't give me credit?
Fred's accomplished things, kid. Don't you get it? Kid, your best way to win for number one is to be number two. Be a good son. Without Fred, your deal's dead.
Donald, defeated, stands to go. Roy puts up a hand. Donald waits, antsy to get going, his hands on top of the chair, unconsciously rocking it.
Then forget it, mean bastard.
Might help if you had some tact. But failing that, let's try another tack. You look down on your dad.
Yeah, but...
fact. And bristle at your family's business tasks. But then go begging with some big-time asks.
I don't think so.
Think of your father. What would earn his love?
Nothing. Why bother? Says all I do is bring his name dishonor.
That's it. Your family's business and his honor. What your dad values most is his good name.
Dad just today, as always, said the same. Dad says I've always disgraced it.
Banish that blame. Do your job. Exceed low expectations. Heed Fred's lessons about your vocation. Don't fight with him. Show respect. Earn your place. Then fight for him. Avenge his reputation in Hotspur's suit for discrimination.
Dad's so angry they've made that federal case. He just wants to keep the riffraff in their place.
Go promise Fred you will not rest your case, nor will I, till the case is done and won. Fight for your father's honor, a good son. You may find if you give Fred what he seeks, both of your interests in the end are served. If then your Penn Central proposal piques their interest, Fred might think his help's deserved.
I like the end game, but the suit drags on.
Well, here's something that might speed things along. Let's bring a countersuit. We'll file a claim against the feds on grounds they defame your father.
Roy, you think just like I do. It's time we threw a counterpunch or two.
We'll hold a press conference where you, my lad, can vent outrage and heap praise on your dad. Our claim will be a real attention-getter. May make things with Daddy, Don, much better. Tell Fred about the case, kid. Not your deal. Write to Penn Central. There may be your zeal for the train yards might just have some appeal. If you need help.
I know just what to say. I've got the best words. I'll write right away.
Trump offices, chintzy Christmas decorations. Donald sits at his desk, alternatively chewing on a KFC drumstick and a pen, then starts writing.
To whom it may concern. No. Gentlemen. No. Damn cheapskate, Fred. Can't buy a decent pen. Dear sirs, I'm writing to you in regards my interest in Penn Central's rail yards. There's just one developer for the job, Donald J. Trump.
Damn, Donald. Such a slob.
There's something, Dad, I would like to discuss.
Hey, your unreal deal? Oh, damn, Donald, you disgust me. I tell you.
How to deal with Hotspur and her suit.
I won't settle. I'm resolute.
Let's hit her back. Let's file a countersuit. I'll make sure that the papers all proclaim the fascist feds have filed a bogus claim to ruin the Trump's business and good name. For Christ's sake, Dad, your middle name is Christ. They've tried to tarnish you. They'll pay the price.
Well, the feds are favored in federal court.
Public opinion is the only court we care about. I'll whip up the support of working stiffs. Play this out in the press. Your tenants are all good, hardworking folks. We'll show them Hotspur's case is a big hoax. Spending your tenants' taxes for their case to put welfare slacks and hoodlums in your place? With Roy's help, all of this I will arrange. Then I'll take Hotspur's honor in exchange for all the harm she's done. I'll fight this fight. To make up for my wrongs, I'll make this right. My only hope, Dad, is that when I'm done, human rights beat down and justice undone, our family honor will have been re-won. Then maybe you'll think better of your son.
A start to remove your dishonored stain. But change your shirt. You won't get out that stain.
Fred glances at Donald's letter and sighs, begins to exit, then turns.
One more thing, son, before I go. About your yard, Steve. I still say no.
The New York Hilton, December 12th, 1973. Christmas decorations. Donald's dolled up in a burgundy suit for his first ever press conference. Fred enters from the rear, unnoticed, as the press turns its attention to Donald on the dais.
The feds should be ashamed by their fake case. The Trumps do not discriminate by race. Our policies are perfect, very fair. They just don't rent to those who are on welfare. Dad's a hero, built homes for working folks, will defend their suburban lifestyle dream against welfare states' liberal schemes. The feds will pay for their fake witch hunt hoax.
$1 million, Mr. Cohn.
That's right.
That seems a little overblown. And countersuing the feds, it's unknown.
The feds defamed the Trumps, falsified facts, but they will pay for their baseless attacks.
It seems the feds have charged Fred Trump before. They claimed he was a profiteer of war.
The city scandals claim Fred paid to play.
Arrested, marching with the KKK.
Fake news. Okay, all these fake charges were dropped. Our countersuit will see these witch hunts stop. Okay, I will allow them to attempt to take Fred Trump's name. Do not tell me he's a racist, he's a saint.
Donald grabs a Bible from the table and brandishes it upside down.
A hero who built homes for middle classes, not welfare rats who sit out their asses. Okay, the feds can't make us be the city's dump. They'll pay for libeling the name of Trump.
The cameramen rush the dais. Donald poses. Fred, moved beyond measure, sneaks out unnoticed by the press as the reporters leave.
It went just like you said, Roy. It was grand. Had the reporters eating from my hand.
The $100 million we demand caught their attention too. But you did good. Got them thinking, there goes the neighborhood.
And stuck up for Dad.
Like a good son should.
The press loved me, Roy. It was so unreal. All paying rapt attention to my spiel.
Can see the headlines. Young Don Trump was pious. He sat resplendent on the hotel's dais. Charge of racial bias. Showed feds bias against the Trumps.
For which the feds will pay. 100 million bucks. A dream come true. Just think of all the projects I could do. Our reputation's worth that.
So say you. But judge and jury, boy, you dream big dreams.
Together, Roy, we do make quite a team.
Donald again avoids Roy's outstretched hand. Late that night, Department of Justice. Holiday decorations. Gilda works at her desk eating Chinese food from a container. One cigarette burns in an ashtray as Gilda lights another. Hotspur enters with the late edition newspapers. Hotspur throws the papers on Gilda's desk.
The Trumps trumpet their cozy countersuit in every paper. No regard for truth.
They're trying to try this case in the press and winning when they make you so distressed.
Don pimped out in his polyester suit, so full of it and yet so self-impressed. Misogynist, malignant, narcissist.
Again, Hotspur, this personal animus. Unseemly in civil servants like us. Is there bad blood between Fred and your father? When we first met him, that's what Fred implied.
Normally, my father wouldn't bother with Brooklyn builders, but he's on Fred's side. Thinks it's our tenant testing that's the crime.
You should be proud.
Because I slave away in Brooklyn for the people and no pay? He'd prefer I worked on Wall Street, if at all. Too bad, Dad. Those law firms won't hire a gal.
Miss Norton sued those Ivy League's boys' clubs.
She went to Yale. She's smarter than those schlubs. Like her, I want to fight for civil rights, not please the patriarchy like my dad.
You're like Don then. Can't please your fathers. Sad.
I'm nothing like that sexist sociopath. With all of the advantages I've been given, I was driven to work to help the oppressed. Don's a callous narcissist, ego-driven, who every moral precept has transgressed. Fantasizing about future fame and fortune, self-praising the prowess of chasing skirts. It's time we skirts kick that pig where it hurts.
I worry that your bias in this case
won't prevent me proving bias based on race.
Gilda puts a hand on Hotspur's shoulder.
And on that basis, if we argue well.
She flicks Gilda's lighter and watches it burn.
The court will order Don to burn in hell.
Christmas Eve, late. The Department of Justice. Hotspur hard at work throughout. Christmas lights and a menorah with 5 lights lit. Trump management offices. Donald tossing colored popcorn from a Christmas tin in the air, catching it in his mouth. The intercom buzzes. Donald punches a button. Ned Eichler from Penn Central. He's on too.
Eichler from Penn Central?
Yeah, for you. It's Christmas Eve.
Okay, be gone with you.
And Merry Christmas to you, Donald, too.
Yes, this is Donald Trump. Yes, this is he. My letter. Oh, Mr. Eichler, certainly. Right after New Year's. Yes, that would suit me. The rail yards. Oh, a huge problem. That's why, sir, as I set out, you need me to run the gauntlet with City Hall. Yeah. Beame's promised us a... Of course, sir. I could call... Oh, big donors. Biggest donors. Family friend. Yeah, the city's in bad shape. But that will end. Once Beame's in, the financial crisis steadies. We'll have done the spade work. Yeah, we'll be ready. Oh, could easily arrange with Abe. Once he's sworn in. Oh, great friends. Almost cheating. Beame's good for you. Or dare I say, for us. Oh, we'll be discreet, sir. Nothing scandalous. No, it's true. The Rockefellers had been wary, but by the time we're ready, Ned, Hugh Carey will be the governor of Albany. You like Hugh. Thinks a lot like you and me. Yeah, Hugh will get elected. Count on me. You can count on him, Ned. Believe me. No, don't bother. They won't bother with a bid. Red short on cash out of Brooklyn deal they did. We rescued Starrett at the last minute. Their business is stretched. No money in it. Dad's got millions stuffed underneath his bed. We're flush with cash. They call Dad Frugal Fred. But why use cash? Use the government's instead. Oh, trust me, for the Trumps, Beame will find a way. Despite the crisis, the city will pay. Oh, no, sir. I would never railroad you. That's funny. You're a railroad. No, yes, it's true. For the Trumps, Beame will come up with the funds. Yeah, you best believe you're the only ones. Oh, you'll see, Ned. When I show you around here, our operations are really first rate. Yeah, you too. A hugely prosperous new year. Okay.
Donald hangs up and fist pumps, then throws fistfuls of popcorn into the air like confetti. Fred enters carrying wrapped presents.
And Central wants to hear from me in the new year.
Except your own words, you stop your ears. I've said no 1,000 times. Can't you hear? Oh, it's Christmas Eve, son. Show a little cheer.
Gilda enters carrying her coat and approaches Hotspur.
It's Hanukkah and Christmas Eve and late. Go home and celebrate. The case can wait.
Hotspur barely looks up, waves. Gilda screws on the 6th light in the menorah. December 26th, 1973. Trump management. Donald, dejected, biting off the heads of Christmas cookies, dials up Roy. Roy, in an armchair, at a smoking jacket, wearing a Santa hat. Perhaps a Lionel train chugs under a Christmas tree Hanukkah bush. Roy picks up the phone when it rings.
Merry Christmas, or whatever you believe. The Grinch ruined Christmas.
Donald, I believe I know a way to warm your daddy's heart.
Impossible. He doesn't have a heart. He nixed my deal.
'Cause he's not invested.
You know he won't.
Not dollars, Don. His sense is it is his idea, and that he's essential to capitalizing on Penn Central.
But Roy, this was all me.
It was initially. You got them on the hook, but you're a poser.
Hey.
Every kind of con kid needs a closer. Tell Dad that in regard he can't be bested. Butter him up. Heap on the compliments. Praise his past deals. Show him their precedents. Trust me, son, this tactic is time-tested. When reason fails, resort to flattery. When all else fails, I find it works for me.
I'll try it, Roy, but I think it's past hoping.
A fetching boy toy enters in a Santa hat and one of Roy's silk robes. He beckons to Roy.
I've gotta go. I've got presents to open.
Roy opens the boy toy's robe, revealing nutcracker underwear. Roy hangs up and the boy toy leads him off.
The option's not an option. But I'm impressed how you hustled Penn Central.
Dad, they're hot.
Well, because you're the only option they've got. None dumb enough to bid. And I will not. Well, they're drowning in debt, and that debt's distress. So even with an option, past step one, you won't get the thing financed. There's no one who'd lend to Penn, much less to anyone who has no track record, not a done deal one. No bank will bankroll you.
But Dad, I'm banking they'll cross that bridge.
When real estate is tanking across the bridge? Donald, this deal is cursed. The whole city's bad. Manhattan's the worst. Can't get new credit. Project finance gone. Well, feds have no money. They spent on Vietnam. The reason that Penn Central's put upon.
Could mortgage what we got.
No, never, Don, damn fool. You'd see your future fortune gone.
Could loosen up the money in my trust.
The trust's there, son, because I do not trust your judgment. You've got too much money lust. Left to your own devices, you'd go bust. Percy, while the other moguls in the city, unlike you, know things aren't looking pretty. I mean, we'll touch the rail yards with a mile-long pole. Well, the city's broke. The railroad's in the hole. Well, since the Depression, things were not this bad. I lived through that. It's why I think that...
Yeah, I know, Dad. I know.
Roy, in his smoking jacket, visible only to Donald, wildly gesticulates. Remember what I told you? He lingers, watching and reacting.
The lesson all these years, Dad, you taught me. The Depression was your opportunity. Cashed in with others acted desperately. When the Depression lenders were foreclosing, you jumped right in, closing after closing. Got all their properties, Dad, for a song. The deal's the same. With you, we can't go wrong.
Got lots of lots, just paying the back tax. Then got permits, real easy. Things were lax. The Pauls, well, they were glad to look the other way. Tax abatements, housing funds, it just came my way. Then I'd cut costs so that things came in below what the government paid. The excess cash flow funded my next project. Those were the days.
A genius, Dad. Never fails to amaze me what you did. Now, again, you could do deals like you did back then, but better. Manhattan will always rebound. It's time to strike when fire sales abound. You've always said, buy when the market's down. What's dirt cheap now will be worth 10 times more. I've researched all the cycles.
Nothing's sure. But glad you're using that BS degree from Wharton and the lessons learned from me. Son, you'd be buying dirt, no infrastructure. That cost a fortune to build all the structures. Cost of design, permitting, and you can bet the Upper West Side snobs will be upset.
Yeah, but Beame...
They wither with the opposition. A politician in a dire position, the city's out of money. Day one, Beame will be under siege, under the gun to produce...
A lot of deals with Dad, but with this deal, with your ideas and know-how, it's ideal.
I won't invest in any... but how does this appeal? Well, since without us, the railroad has no options. We just ask them for a no-cost option. Need not own the property.
Just get control, lock the others out.
But on the tax roll, Penn Central will remain the obligor.
Frank, do you think that's something that the railroad would go for?
If it's true, there's no one else but you. Let's get an option. And then we can pursue financing it and rezoning. Nothing due if the project's too difficult to do.
Or if Beame can't get the tax abatements through.
Or better yet, propose that nothing's due till something's built and some rents accrue.
Put nothing down? Wait till payments due? I swear, Dad, is there nothing you can't do?
And with all the work we'll need to do, we'll insist they pay us a $1 or $2 million. A fee, plus a long lockup, or refuse. Refuse to spend the time and effort. They're lose-lose position. Profits us. Losers can't choose.
You'll make us winners. With you, we can't lose.
Now we'll dangle promised upside. Later on.
An interest in the project?
Once it's done. Some stake the biggest bankers can bank on.
Since the creditors all think the money's gone, at least they'll get a chance to cut the cost of carrying a property through loss. They might just go for it.
It's worth a try. Get a commitment from that Penn Central Scott. And then with Beame's help, once we've commandeered the option, building rights, all zoning's cleared, it might just work. We might just have a chance to get some bank to commit to finance the project.
A lot of ifs.
A complex dance.
That's why I need you, Dad, to have half a chance.
Oh, deals like this Less science and more art. Each piece depends on every other part, which on the one before it depends. Why, you can't begin till the players see the end. Developers like us, son, have the vision. Yeah, you need a leap of faith for the decision to turn dirt into a subdivision. Like artists, with a rough, unchiseled stone, we see potential. Don't fear the unknown. This dream is daunting, but the hardest task is to convince the gatekeepers we need to ask to leap with us. Put their cash on the line for a project that lives only in our minds. We're visionaries. Most men's son are blind.
But not you, Dad. Bet you could make this fly.
With all the risk involved, I'll bet that guy thinks none in their right mind would even try to bid, much less to do the thing at all. Ask for everything. If they won't take it, call their bluff and walk. I mean, the market's in the tank.
We've got leverage. The railroad ship has sank, and then we'll take our profits to the bank. No cut for them till the project proceeds.
No, only if the project succeeds. Creativity and moxie, that's what we'll need. And with no bidders, they'll need us. They'll need that as well.
Get paid to do a deal for $0 down. Well, we'll make it happen, Dad.
Son, give them hell.
January 1974, Abe Beame's office, City Hall. Fred and Donald relax, talk amiably with the newly inaugurated mayor. There are boxes everywhere. A workman takes down the portrait of good-looking Lindsay, replacing it with a photo of unassuming Abe. Ned Eichler enters from Penn Central, surprised, impressed at the homey scene.
Ned, my driver got you here okay? Penn Central, I assume, Ned, could not pay for limos anymore. Ned, this is Abe.
Ned Eichler from Penn Central. Sir, must say, can't believe you set this meeting in a day when you've just been sworn in.
Hang on, Abe. Abe, I need you to go ahead and click that unmute because we can't hear a thing you're saying.
Sorry, Donald. What can I say? For these guys, I'd do anything, you bet. Whatever the Trumps want, the Trumps get. You'll have no problems. I'll prevent them.
Had Don not rescued me, I'd invent him. Mayor Beame, since the Trumps have your support, bet we'll get blessed by the bankruptcy court.
Donald hands Eichler a binder.
Here are the deal specs, Ned. Now let's cement them.
Abe motions for him to sit. Blown away, he does as Donald pulls out the plats of parcels, blueprints, etc., and sets them on Beame's desk as if it were his own. Beame nods, smiles as Fred and Eichler lean in. February 1974, Hearts and Cupids, Department of Justice. Hotspur anxiously looks at the clock and the phone rings.
Thank God. Miss Stein, it's way past time to go. The sleet and snow. The Chinese food, oh no! I'll call the court, postpone. You think I can? I know the arguments, ma'am, but that man, before I'd face Cohn, wish I could have planned. You're right. We win. The judge will understand. In fact, I'll act as if all this was planned. It will fluster Roy that in our opinion his briefs are so bad that you'd send your minion. Don't worry, Miss Stein. I will give them hell. Yes, on my best behavior. Rest. Get well. Their case is so weak, ma'am. I won't need luck. Okay. It's you and me, Roy. Holy fuck.
Hotspur snaps her briefcase shut, grabs an umbrella and her trench coat. Outside the Department of Justice, snow turned to a cold, miserable rain. Hotspur enters and raises an umbrella. It's broken. She throws it violently in a trash can, puts her briefcase over her head, and tries to flag a cab. Good luck getting a taxi in New York City in the rain. Frankie, Roy's chauffeur, water dripping off a wise guy cap, approaches.
Hey, lady.
Screw you, asshole.
Hey, not nice. You want to ride to court? Take my advice, take the ride. Mr. Trump is being nice. Knew you'd not get a taxi in the rain.
Tell Mr. Trump no thanks. I'll take the train. As if I'd ever set foot in your car, pimped out just like the peacock that you are. Think you ride astride your dad and crooked cone will witch the world that you would call your own? Think you are like the winged god Mercury, off in your chariot to war with me. Your self-praise makes me ill, but you will learn. On the righteous pyre of justice, you will burn. This rich reprisal not yet yours is nigh. I'll fight you until one of us shall die. Trust in the end, I'll leave you high and dry.
Noise of a car tearing away from the curb. Hotspur is splashed, and she storms off for the subway. U.S. District Court, Eastern District of New York. Roy paces in the back of the courtroom, reading briefs for the first time. Donald and Fred sit, waiting. The official portrait of Nixon looms.
What dismal arguments did my clerks did draft? Never passed a bar without downing a draft. Studied law just to avoid the draft. Oh, well. Though a draft's a piece of shit, fills the file as well, 'twas better writ. Now, where are those girls? Should have taken the ride. Justice delayed. But I fear, denied. Alas, the law is on the lass's side. I'll just unleash some fabulous attacks. Distract the judges and Hotspur from the facts and law, which our brief briefing sadly lacks.
Roy joins Donald and Fred. All rise as the judge enters. Looks disapprovingly at the empty counsel table where the DOJ lawyers should be. Hotspur enters a hot mess, soaking wet and flustered. Gasps and murmurs. Roy and Donald smirk. The judge is flabbergasted. Hotspur forces herself to stride firmly to the counsel table, throws off her trench coat, runs her hand through her wet hair, and opens her briefcase.
Your Honor, beg your pardon that I'm late.
Where's Miss Stein? How much longer must we wait?
Ms. Stein, Judge, left this argument to me.
And you're prepared?
Prepared most zealously.
Hotspur slips, stepping to the podium, spilling papers right near Donald. And she picks them up.
She looks a wreck and almost broke her neck.
May it please the court?
I'm not pleased, but proceed. And since you're late, with all deliberate speed.
As Mr. Cohn told those on his blacklist who sued for being branded communists, the government cannot be held liable for a claim of slander or for libel. And there's a privilege in litigation that precludes a claim of defamation.
These points are in your papers. Good to know, to quit when one is winning.
Judge, I'd add, since Mr. Cohn's behavior's been so bad, I think some sanction judge is justly had.
Roy jumps up, but the judge cuts him off.
Mr. Cohn, your $100 million claim is not worth 2 cents. Have you no shame? You waste my time. Your countersuit's dismissed. These frivolous filings, they must desist. I'll sanction you next time if you persist.
Not frivolous! The feds filed a false charge, yet the government is shielded? I'm verklempt!
I warn you, Cohn, I'll hold you in contempt. And believe me, the sanction will be large. It seems your motivations to prolong this case, which seems to me to be quite strong. No more delay. Just move this case along.
Your Honor, isn't ruling that they're right, nor is the court deciding that we're wrong. You only held from suit that they're immune. So, to make sure that no one misconstrues your ruling, so that there's no more fake news, I think the gag order's in order.
I will have order. The only ones I'll gag counselors are you. Miss Percy, it is clear that you know the laws. Don't snatch defeat from your small victory's jaws. But she is right, Cohn. Despite her faux pas, your client's splashy press conference is the cause that this case is our cause célèbre. Won't gag the press, but your communique should cease and await that most blessed day when this lawsuit is made to go away. Cohn, prove your case or show good government and settle things soon with the government.
Donald, Roy, and Fred, following, approach Hotspur, who packs her briefcase.
You heard the judge. Your victory was small. And in the end, hot stuff, you will lose it all. You won't be so high and mighty when you fall.
Hotspur, revolted, moves to smack him. Donald restrains her hand and laughs. Roy pats Donald on the back as the three men, leaving Hotspur fuming. The next day, Department of Justice, Hearts and Cupids. Hotspur is at her desk. Gilda, still a little green, hands Hotspur a Valentine's Day card. Hotspur opens the card, pulls out a letter inside. Roy enters in a spot with Donald looking on, eating from a Valentine's box of chocolates, biting, inspecting, and putting them back. As Roy speaks, Hotspur and Gilda read, first the Valentine, then Roy's letter tucked inside.
Dear Harriet, I really never knew a white hot-tempered female quite like you. Oh, I'm afraid that I will have to tweak the dates for a deposition set next week. In March, I maybe could make half a day, but then I'm tied up until early May. And then the date for documents is much too soon. I can't get those to you till early June.
I swear, he really makes me want to shriek. Response is overdue by 12 weeks. He heard the judge demand expedition, but offers 1/2 day deposition before May? Oh!
Don't throw that away. It's Exhibit A. Let's take advantage of all Cohn's delay. We'll send in some more testers to apply and see if Trump's color lines still apply. If the Trumps still discriminate by race, we'll bring more charges and expand the case.
Ms. Norton, can we send out more testers?
Sad to say, but Beame's budget sequester led to lots of layoffs.
But they're in league. Gotta say, Beame's layoff smack of Trump's intrigue.
Beame says it's budget cuts he can't avoid, but I'll find volunteers to fill the void. Recruit some testers from the Urban League.
Her tests will help put racism to rest.
Can't change bad guys like Trump, just do our best to see that their abuses are redressed.
Her staff is cut, yet her commitment swells. Let's cut Cohn's crap to get the court to compel Trump's documents and depositions too.
I'll file a motion to send them to hell.
Again, this notion of a hell-bent motion. Hotspur, you must get hold of your emotions. Your legal acumen puts Cohn to shame, but that credit's blemished by your willful blame. You must learn, Hotspur, to amend this fault. Your stubbornness and temper learn to halt. Though sometimes it shows greatness, courage, heart, too often from decorum you depart. It's not a good look for the government and the honor that betokens you besides. If you can't be civil, I fear what betides. I may be forced to have you step aside.
Well, I am schooled. Good manners I'll affect. But Cohn, the Trumps, will ne'er earn my respect.
Fred at his desk.
Well, this is unexpected. Hello, Ned. Well, Donald's not here.
I'm here to see you, Fred. Penn Central's lawyer went to federal court to learn about your race case. His report was not good, Fred. There is quite a concern these race charges against you, Fred, could turn the creditors against you, knock you out of contention.
That's all BS.
No doubt. I know these are unproven allegations. But someone charged with race discrimination? Not a great look with the bankruptcy court.
We'll win the case.
Right, but time is short, and they've counseled against your choice of counsel. Cohn's cozy with crime bosses and is known to have some legal issues of his own. We've got to get approval by year end. Either win or settle before then, my friend.
Damn.
March 1974, Department of Justice conference room, St. Patrick's Day decorations. Roy sits at the table with Donald slurping a McDonald's Shamrock Shake, ogling the court reporter, who sits hands poised over her machine.
Come on, Hotspur. Really gotta run. It's almost 3. We started up at 1. Stop stalling, kid.
Roy, you are one to preach. The litigation languishes so you can languish in Palm Beach.
Keep up my tan. It's a case that's going south. Run down the clock when you run off your mouth.
On the record, for these last few minutes, this document request, do you know what's in it?
I never saw this. You've asked quite a lot.
Have you looked for these documents?
I've not.
Your policy for record retention.
Don't have one.
Did Mr. Cohn not mention that when a lawsuit's filed, you must retain all documents that might at all pertain to the rental practices in our claim?
Instruct you not to tell her what I've said.
Said nothing about that to me.
How about Fred?
Look, Trump's the biggest Brooklyn Queens landlord. There's no place for all that stuff can be stored.
Rental applications?
Way too many. 14,000 tenants.
You don't keep any?
Keep what you need, for day to day, but the rejects, we toss them right away.
Donald, that's evidence spoliation.
That means...
We're done. Time for my vacation.
The court reporter stops typing. During the following, she packs up her transcription machine in its case. Donald watching her bending and leaning over, liking what he sees.
While you're applying your suntan lotion, I'll be applying
another motion.
The compelled documents with the magistrate.
Have fun, Hotspur. I'll be at the ocean. We'll fight when we get back. Now I am late. See you in 2 months. Now, Donald, be good. Don't make a move on Hotspur.
Like I would.
As Roy exits, he pinches Hotspur's cheek. She's furious, disgusted, and Donald laughs.
You never smile, hot stuff. It's a pity. If you would smile, you would look half pretty. Perhaps you could give her a tip or two, though she's not half as beautiful as you. Like her lost case, she's a lost case, I think. Come on, good looking. Let me buy you a drink. You see, I'm not a racist like you think.
Donald takes the steno machine and indicates for the reporter to go ahead of him, ogling her, grabs her butt as she goes past. June 1974, U.S. District Court, Eastern District of New York. Portrait of Nixon. Hotspur is at the counsel table, impatient. The magistrate glances at the clock.
Magistrate Vincenzo. Sorry I'm late.
2 hours late. Cohn's a little more than late. You postponed twice before.
Gotti got hit by the G-men for the Gambino hit. I was at Rikers to take care of it.
Gotti, Gambino, Cohn, you're a big gun. This document dust up. Let's get it done.
I've been here all morning. It's now past noon. We filed the case last fall. Now it's June. So far, we've had one short deposition. No documents have been produced to date, though Mr. Cohn thinks it's an imposition. 9 months. I'd say it's a little more than late.
Show some respect, young woman. He's here now, at any rate.
Judge, Donald Trump, at his short examination, admitted to wholesale spoliation of evidence.
That's a serious charge.
The number of Trump's leases, Judge, is large. With 20,000 tenants, it's routine to put old files in the shredding machine. Standard procedure. Miss Percy should know well.
He admits evidence has been destroyed. What documents are left, you must compel, and cost sanctions.
That's difficult as hell. Want me to sanction a well-known lawyer? Or the busy businessman who's his employer? Sees his clients now compliant.
But too late.
Can't fix that now. But now, at any rate, going forward, I'm sure they will comply.
It's quite a burden, Judge, but we will try.
These promises, Judge, they're infinite. He will persist unless the punishment fits the crime.
Misplaced papers, not a crime.
There's also witness intimidation. Trump's super swore there was discrimination in a statement taken by the FBI, but now it seems the super has been shaken, coerced to say his statement was a lie.
Not shaken, just mistaken.
Right.
Not a crime to misremember. Now, I'm out of time, and Mr. Cohn's got Gotti. That's big time. I trust you can resolve your little spat.
Judge, with respect, this isn't just a spat. Witness tampering, document destruction. We'll take these matters up with the trial judge.
The wisdom of that, well, it's yours to judge. But the trial judge gave me clear instruction to move the case. So long delayed, along. But it's your right to tell the judge I'm wrong.
You must learn, Hotspur, not to hold a grudge. Law matters little. You must learn to judge your chances like I do. I judge the judge.
Trump management. Fred's phone rings. He answers.
We've gotten all the deal terms, Fred. Resolved.
That's great, Ned.
But your race case must be solved before we'll get the creditors' support, which we need to win approval by the courts.
I'll never fold. I swore that to my son.
The race case is about you, not your son. All that Don really wants is this deal done. So it is up to you, Fred. You must choose. If you wait to win what you want, Don may lose.
Department of Justice, July 1974. Early morning, 4th of July decorations. Eleanor brings a box of files and Hotspur looks at them, shakes her head, and types. Roy reads what Hotspur's written.
Despite the magistrate's clear instructions for you to stop document destruction, we've gotten nothing, just more obstruction. So we will take this up with the trial court, and in the Urban League's recent report, we have proof the Trumps have not addressed their racist policies.
Hotspur holds up the files from the box. Roy, pissed, throws Hotspur's letter, dials the phone. Hotspur's phone rings, and she puts the phone on speaker.
Send one more tester, and they will be arrested for trespass.
Responding to Trump's ads is not trespass. Turning applicants away, though, based on race, means we've had grounds to expand the case.
You wouldn't dare.
Until the Trumps comply, the charges against them will multiply. Should see the statements from the FBI.
The Gestapo, strong-arming staff to lie, stormtroopers' tactics, intimidation.
Trump's people weren't scared by the FBI, told the agents that their trepidation was that truth-telling might mean termination. The super, who'd agreed to testify, said his job was threatened by some young Trump guy.
A young Trump guy? What's your insinuation?
We've got you on witness intimidation. Ah!
Cohn called me about settlement last night. I'm off to offer to end this long fight.
With all respect, this counsel isn't smart. Settlement shows fear, ma'am, and a cold heart.
I hold as little counsel with weak fear as you, Hotspur, or any counsel here. We've bravely fought, but now the trial is near, we can most bravely act by seeking peace. Discriminations in the case surcease.
By bloody battle or consent decree, ending discrimination is a victory. You can't order an end to bigotry, just win the right to rent for every race.
But they're best avenged by winning our case. At every turn, Cohn and the Trumps have lied. Please do not settle. The Trumps must be tried.
Hotspur, we've truth and justice on our side, but our army is small and ill-supplied. If the Trumps settle, I'll be satisfied. Justice not more delayed nor than denied.
Eleanor comforts Hotspur. Roy's office, a conference room. Roy and Fred confer, both nodding glumly. Donald enters, makes a beeline for the sticky buns, eats, licks his fingers throughout. Fred turns disgusted and looks out the window.
Oh, how bloody red the sun begins to glow between the skyscrapers. It seems as though the sun's inflamed.
Your sun's inflamed. This blows.
As do the winds, which may have changed. Your foes, the government now, trial is near. See sense and talk of peace.
No way.
Their evidence.
A smear. We're not guilty, Roy, so we should win. Let them grovel, but then let the war begin.
Fred pats Donald on the back.
Maybe it's time we listen, son, to Roy. They've got the FBI at their employ to coerce all the folks that we employ. I mean, we have worn them down. Now they will demand much less than when the whole witch hunt began.
Donald is perplexed and not persuaded. Gilda enters windblown. Fred is torn, determined to temper Donald for the sake of the Penn Central deal, but touched by his son's fealty and his conviction to fight the feds.
Good morning, Mr. Trump, Donald, Roy. I hope the time has come, pardon me, when you'll agree to end this case, sign our consent decree. You know our terms, we've offered them before. Let us make peace, we never wanted war.
You don't want war? Well, hot stuff does for sure.
Her temperament is sometimes, Don, like yours, exhibits the untempered flame of youth. But Hotspur's ardor masks a good intent, to uphold the law and quest for right and truth.
She doesn't give a shit what's true or right. Files false charges that is too scared to fight. Tell hot stuff I won't settle, that's for sure.
The federal funds your father did procure fed your fortune, yet you blithely ignore their purpose to help minorities, the poor.
If it's you who waste tax dollars on this case, it's a crime when there's a real crime all over the place. Harlem, the Bronx, an abomination. Send in the cops. Those thugs need domination. Instead of forcing us to house those bums, throw them in jail. Clear out the city slums. Be honest, though. You act like a true believer. You don't want to believe. You don't want to live with those people either.
I do not share your racist sentiment. You've taken millions from the government and then break oath on oath and flout the law.
Miss Stein, that's uncalled for. You overreach my client's conduct.
Perfect.
Beyond impeach.
We'll prove you wrong. Tell hot stuff to bring it on. But drop my dad for this and just try me. Tell hot stuff to man up. Just her and me.
No, Donald.
Up both the Trumps, or else the case will try. The offer's fair. We'll wait for your reply.
It will not be accepted on my life. Though the corrupt officials in this town lay gifts before the Trumps, we'll bring you down.
Gilda grabs her things, furious.
No wonder no man has made her his wife. These wasp-like women with their wild mood swings.
Don't worry, Dad. I'll take care of things.
Fred hesitates, then pats Donald, but then turns back and stops and lingers just outside the door as Roy speaks.
Don, this super whose testimony changed.
What of it?
Was it something you arranged?
What if the man was paid a little visit and thought he really should revisit?
Did you threaten the super to change his tune?
What, Roy? You look pale, as if you would swoon. If someone talked to him, it wasn't me. But speaking, Roy, just hypothetically, what if the super found out that a C written on a rental application just meant it was under consideration? Maybe once he learned the meaning of C, he changed his statement voluntarily.
Kid, if you would exhort me in the court to take an action that does not comport with the rules of ethics.
Roy, you're not that sort. I thought I had your undying support.
If the court threatens sanctions of some sort, you'd better stand by me, son, and post bail. My honor's all I have. Say you won't fail. Don't let them drag me off to some foul jail.
Your only honor, Roy, it seems to be, is to always act dishonorably. You get off going off, then getting off.
And in that way, just like you, Doomkopf.
Roy paces after Don leaves.
Whate'er I owe the law is not due yet. Why would I pay what's still an uncalled debt? Rogue's honor pricks me on, but boy, that prick makes me pay for this prick's dirty tricks. Like the president's men, perjured, paid for dicks. Can honor fix conviction? Change a charge? What is Rogue's honor than risk writ large? And I have a rule that I honor without fail. Let the client, not the lawyer, go to jail. Honor would be my cellmate. I'll have none of honor then. This litigation's done. Unless this last motion can be won.
August 1974. U.S. District Court, Eastern District of New York. Roy, Donald, and Fred sit at one counsel table. Gilda, Hotspur, and Eleanor at the other. The judge is on the bench. Nixon's portrait is on the floor, propped against the wall.
I'll tell you, counselors, this case has been hell. Motions for sanctions, motions to compel. The lawsuits dragged on for almost a year, but little progress has been made. I fear for those whose rights are why we are all here. And now, although the trial's date's looming near, you're here with battling motions for contempt? One bought by, one against the government? First up then, Mr. Cohn for...
The super, who supports their case in chief, says that the feds misstated his belief in a false statement. Justice did suborn. Now that super in defendant's employ says that the Trumps never did once deploy a policy to keep the blacks away. What the FBI forced the poor man to say. Yeah, he says the Bureau threatened jail, lest he said the Trumps use a code, a big black C, for when color folks apply for tenancy.
Both I and the FBI interviewed that super. What Cohn says, Judge, is totally untrue. Instead, that super was coerced by you!
Gilda tries to get Hotspur to sit, and she won't.
He said, when interviewed, he had great fear the Trumps would fire him. Judge, it is clear they've threatened him and coerced him to recant his truthful statement and then to supplant the truth with their carefully scripted lies.
Your FBI stormtroopers did make him lie. Terrorized the frightened super, made him sign the false affidavit. Gestapo ploys.
Stormtroopers. The Gestapo stopped this noise.
The G-men pressured witnesses, forsooth.
The honest brokers bent on finding truth. I was an agent with the Bureau in my youth.
It seems, Roy, that you failed to judge the judge.
Our charges aren't against the FBI. I have personal reasons. The FBI and I have a relationship. Too close. Yeah, no, I did not mean that the Bureau is to blame. The Gestapo tactics, that's Miss Percy's game. Trick the Bureau, got this man to lie. Your clients coerced the super.
Your clients coerced the super, Cohn, not me.
This unsure super may fear the perjury of the trial. I guess we'll see which version of the truth he'll swear to me. Now I'll hear the motion of the government without emotion, just measured argument.
The defendant's goal, and their succeeding, is to keep these proceedings from proceeding. Delay and obfuscation, witness intimidation, evidence tampering, and spoliation. And the reports from our recent testers show, while Cohn delays, racism still festers. So, Your Honor, there's ample reason why the most severe of sanctions should apply, and the trial date moved.
That I will deny. The statute requires expedition and fair housing claims disposition. Won't grant more time for wasteful argument about which side deserves the court's contempt. Try the case. Too much time's already spent.
Judge, it's unfair. How can this case be tried when rules aren't allowed and the law's defied, and witnesses and Mr. Cohn have lied? The court does nothing. Instead, you let Cohn slide.
Counsel, I counsel you to comport yourself with decorum when you are in this court. From Cohn, such clashes I've come to expect. But justice must show all in court respect. You represent the government whose fight should be for truth and justice, never spite. Did not that mission here well represent, because your temper has no government. Gilda, I think you might consider now, Miss Stein, whether it might be wise to reassign the case, or else her temper may tempt mine. The trial date's near. Perhaps before that time, you'll reach a settlement. That I will sign.
The judge stands, all rise. Hotspur sinks into her chair, devastated. Fred, Roy, and Donald approach Hotspur.
Hot stuff.
Well, I'll tell you hot stuff. Your precious honor's down in flames. You so dishonor the proud Percy name.
Damn you, Donald! You robbed me of my cause, to lift up the oppressed by righteous laws. Care less about my honor than the honor of my name. Letting down the downtrodden, that's my shame that wounds my heart far worse than your disdain. This warrior tried to wield justice's sword and looked for naught but justice as reward. But righteous by their nature play by rules, appeals to laws and courts, justice's tools, which malefactors like you ridicule, make those who fight for fairness seem like fools. My sole solace is that a man so small won't gain the power you crave. You'll repel all. Your brash bombants and blatant bigotry, I prophesy, will bring ignominy.
Brave words, hot stuff. You think you're really smart. Your fight is finished before your wars start. So honor-driven, always honor-bound, you dug your grave on your lost battleground.
Donald, her father, hot stuff. You think, it would be, her father's son would be sure he'd be mortified. Well, I have a son in whom I take great pride.
It's you men who should all be mortified. Bigots be warned, justice won't be denied. Not with heroes like Hotspur on our side. You can delay, boys, but you cannot hide. I promise you, I'll never go away, and very soon you'll have your judgment day. Then, under oath, the witnesses will say how racist Fred forced all the blacks away. Roy thinks there is no bad publicity. The Times will trumpet the Trump's bigotry proven by Justice's brave victory. Front page news, buddy, believe you me. To save your souls, sign the consent decree.
With respect, ma'am, I just did disembowel your churlish colleague. Yet you stomp and howl? Won't settle. You should just throw in the towel.
Eleanor throws the consent decree at the men. She and Gilda guide Hotspur off.
Kick those girls to the curb.
My specialty is to bring out the worst in my enemies so they defeat themselves.
Like Hotspur's snit, and then the black girl, she sure threw a fit.
Fred picks up the consent decree, hands it to Roy, and nods. Roy looks around and makes sure the courtroom is empty.
I must admit, I played the counterfeit. I think it's time to sign the settlement. My artfulness has zapped young Hotspur's zeal, so the government will cut a better deal. I fear the G-Man judge is on their side. You won't believe the FBI lied.
Can't you kick him out for bias?
Didn't try. Can't shoot the king unless you're sure he'll die. And worries go beyond the FBI. Those pesky testers, too, will testify how they were turned away when they'd apply.
Allegedly.
But they'll be under oath. And the super, and I'm afraid you both.
I see, Roy. Yeah, that might not be too great.
Trial set. There's no more delaying fate. Unless we say that we'll negotiate. Can probably drag that out at least a year. Little down the bullshit they've got here and put in terms so they can't interfere in the future. So long as you appear to welcome blacks.
Appear?
There's little fear the settlement will really be enforced. The feds don't have the funds or the workforce. And so your business can just stay the course. The settlement will deny the commission of any violation. No admissions. If the G-men and the testers are not sworn, then your denials won't seem, well, forsworn. In future can forthrightly say, forsooth, a witch hunt where the feds ne'er prove the truth.
A workman enters and replaces Nixon's portrait with Ford's. November 11th, 1974, U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Philadelphia. A portrait of President Ford. At the council table, Eichler sits. Donald, Fred, and Roy sit together. All rise as the bankruptcy judge enters, takes the bench, ruffles through papers, files stacked high all around him. All sit.
Veterans Day, so it should be observed how proud we are of all you men who've served, especially those just back from Vietnam.
Donald squirms uncomfortably, rubs his bone spurs.
Now, to the Railroads War, which still drags on.
At last we have a buyer.
It would seem to call this bitter buyer's extreme. No money down, but the buyer will receive a big fat $1 million startup fee. Trump keeps that fee if things go nowhere, while the railroad's dependent for its share of profits on everything going in, right in a city whose future ain't too bright. Your buyer won't pay a penny. Contingencies, never seen so many. Approval, zoning, big tax abatements. Call that a buyer? Slight overstatement. This is the only deal you have at hand. I think because his parcels are prime land.
Your Honor, we are so lucky to have this. New York's in crisis, a fiscal abyss. The city's a political quagmire. We're lucky to have found this one white squire.
Call it luck when there's no other choice. The creditors, no objection to voice. I'd ne'er known them not to be quite vocal.
They've agreed, as have the state and local officials.
In the Fair Housing Act case, can't have discrimination based on race.
Settled without an admission of guilt. Resolved because the Trumps want this thing built.
So no objections, other bids to proffer?
The courtroom buzzes, but no one steps forward.
Then I'll approve it, since it's only offer.
Fred shakes Donald's hand as the judge signs.
Oh, you did it, Donald. Congratulations, son. I really doubted that it could be done. For trinkets, like the like the Indians and the Dutch.
Oh, thanks for that, Dad. From you, that means so much.
Mr. Eichler, tell me what is left to sell.
Near Grand Central, the Commodore Hotel. A teardown.
Roy points to Donald. Go for it, kiddo.
I'd like to buy that as well.
Fred practically falls off his chair.
Let me know when this last bankrupt deal is done.
Roy goes to Donald, who turns instead to Fred. Roy slumps.
The Commodore? Have you gone crazy, son? Well, like Eichler said, the old hotel's a dump.
I'll turn it into the first Hotel Trump.
Myself, content to be the king of kings, from this day forth, I'll see you have the means to make New York your own. And then someday, the Trump empire will have the great power and sway. Donald, this business today's so well done. Couldn't be more proud of my prodigal son.
Fred awkwardly embraces his son.